There is one night in every man's life that defines him forever. For some, it's the night they finally discover who they truly are. For others, it's the night they come face to face with the monster they've become. This is the story of one of those nights. A story about how pride can blind us, how prejudice can destroy us, and how redemption sometimes shows up when we least expect it. If you've made it this far, it's because you're drawn to stories that go deeper, stories that touch the soul and make us reflect on who we are and who we might still become. Today, we're diving into a powerful tale about marriage, family, prejudice, and the life-changing power of forgiveness. Get ready for an emotional journey that might just change the way you see relationships and second chances. Our story takes place in a time when arranged marriages were still common, when families decided the fate of their children based on tradition, social status, and sometimes motives far darker than love. We meet our main character, a young man raised with privilege, shaped by a society that taught him to judge others by appearances. He wasn't born cruel, but being a product of his time didn't free him from the weight of his choices. On the other side of this story is a young woman, quiet, devoted, raised to be the perfect wife according to the standards of her world. She carried within her a silent dignity that few ever noticed. Her greatest tragedy wasn't her appearance. It was being caught in a game of revenge she knew nothing about. And then there's the third crucial figure, the groom's mother. A woman consumed by old grudges, determined to use her own son as a weapon for her vengeance. She was the architect of a tragedy that almost destroyed innocent lives. The wedding day arrived. Families gathered, vows were exchanged, but the true test would only come that night when the young groom walked toward the bridal chamber, carrying not love, but expectations shaped by arrogance and prejudice. When he opened the door, he saw his bride waiting for him. She was simple, modest, her eyes lowered, maybe from shyness, maybe because she sensed what was coming. Her hands trembled. Did she already know? Did she feel the rejection that was about to crush her? And then it happened. The moment his eyes met her face, something inside him turned cold. Her skin was darker than he had imagined, and in that instant, all the hidden prejudice within him burst to the surface. His heart closed. What should have been a night of joy turned into disdain. No, she can't be my wife, he thought silently. But silence sometimes is louder than words. She felt it. How could she not? His cold stare cut her deeper than any words could. Tears welled up before he even spoke. And then, in a moment that would break anyone's heart, she fell to her knees before him. Clutching the edge of his robe, her voice shaking with desperation, she pleaded, "If you want, take another wife. Forget me, but please, don't throw me out of this house. Let me stay, even if only in a forgotten corner." Imagine the humiliation. Imagine the pain. A woman begging to remain as a shadow in her own home, on the very night that was supposed to be the happiest of her life. And what did he do? He turned his back, left her there on the floor, treated her as nothing. The days that followed were a silent cruelty. She worked tirelessly, cared for the household, served his family, never complained, never fought back. It was as if she had accepted a cruel sentence without ever being allowed to defend herself. But here's the truth about her. Though her eyes carried sorrow, they also carried dignity. She never broke. She didn't become bitter. She never sought revenge. She simply remained true to who she was. Meanwhile, his mother watched with satisfaction. Every time she saw her daughter-in-law lower her head, she felt victorious. The young man didn't realize it yet, but his mother was savoring every second of a carefully planned revenge. As if that weren't cruel enough, he decided to take another wife. Beautiful, fair-skinned, lively, full of charm. Everything he thought the first one lacked. She was the very image of his shallow prejudices. And when the second wife arrived, the first became even quieter. She served both of them with humility, never uttering a word of resentment. She accepted her fate with a silence that was both heartbreaking and noble. And him? Instead of admiring her strength, he ignored her even more. His pride built a wall so high he couldn't see what everyone else already knew, that she was extraordinary, and he was throwing it away. Then one night, restless and unable to sleep, He overheard his mother speaking with a neighbor. What he heard shattered his world. "I married my son to that girl only to disgrace her family. They betrayed us once, and now she's paying the debt for them." He froze. His chest burned. His entire world collapsed. She was innocent. She never deserved his cruelty. She was nothing but a pawn in his mother's game of vengeance, and he, blinded by arrogance, had been her accomplice. That night, sleep never came. Every memory haunted him. Her tears on the floor, her trembling plea, her quiet dedication, her patience in the face of his indifference. Every image was an accusation. Every moment was a punishment. For the first time, he saw himself for what he was, a monster. He had condemned a pure soul for no reason, punished an innocent woman because of his pride and his mother's hatred. Her tears now burned in his conscience like fire. The next morning, he made the hardest, most important decision of his life. He called her. She came, head bowed as always. But this time, he was the one who knelt. "Forgive me," he whispered, his voice shaking. "I was blind, cruel, unjust. You never deserved the pain I caused you." Imagine her shock. After all that time in silence, the man who had treated her as nothing was now on his knees before her. He held her hands and continued, "From today, I want to be the husband you deserve. No more shadows, no more silence. I want to restore the dignity I stole from you." And then something extraordinary happened. Tears streamed down her face. But this time, they weren't tears of pain. They were tears of hope. The days began to change. He listened to her. He spoke with her. And in her, he discovered wisdom, sweetness, strength, a beauty far beyond appearances, the beauty of her soul. Every gesture was an attempt to heal the past. Every word was proof he was no longer the same man. And in time, something he thought was gone forever returned. Her smile. At first shy, but then genuine. A smile that lit up not just her face, but their home and his heart. A heart that had finally learned how to love. Now, whenever he remembers that first night, he feels shame for the man he was, but also gratitude for the forgiveness he received. Because not everyone gets a second chance. Not everyone finds someone willing to forgive the unforgivable. This isn't just a story about marriage. It's a story about pride, prejudice, pain, and redemption. It's a reminder that true love is born when we learn to see beyond appearances and when we're brave enough to face the mistakes that haunt us. It's about how our upbringing, our arrogance, our biases can blind us to the beauty right in front of us. It's about how the strongest people are often those who suffer in silence, and it's about how it's never too late to change, to grow, to become who we were always meant to be. If you've stayed with me until now, this story probably touched something inside you. Maybe you saw yourself in him, someone who once judged too quickly, who let pride speak louder than compassion. Or maybe you saw yourself in her, someone who's been judged unfairly, rejected without reason, treated coldly by the very person who should have offered love. So the question is, how many extraordinary people have we lost because of prejudice? How many relationships have we destroyed out of pride? How many second chances have we wasted simply because we couldn't admit we were wrong? Remember this, true beauty lives in the soul, true love sees beyond the surface, and redemption is always possible for those who have the courage to face their mistakes and ask for forgiveness. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment sharing your reflections. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. And if you're living through something similar, whether you're the one who needs forgiveness or the one who needs to forgive, know this, it is never too late to change the story. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the soul and make us reflect on who we are and who we can become. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next video.